Have you ever just stopped and thought about it? I mean, really thought about it. Why is our universe so incredibly, mind-bogglingly old? It's a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, the answer changes everything. First, let's just get our heads around the number. 13.7 billion years. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a time span so vast that our brains can't really even process it. And that's what leads to the obvious follow-up question. Why? Why so long? If the whole point was to get to a planet like Earth, with people like us on it, couldn't it have been, a bit more direct? The whole thing can feel a little excessive. But here's the twist, and this is the core idea we're going to unpack. When you actually look at the physics, the chemistry, the whole cosmic story, you realize something absolutely wild. 13.7 billion years isn't too much time. In fact, it's barely enough. The universe isn't late, it's right on schedule. So, let's break down why that is. First things first, the universe had to grow up. It didn't start with all the parts in the box. It started with the absolute basics and had to build everything else from scratch. And I mean everything. Let's make this super personal. The stuff you're literally made of, the carbon that's the backbone of your biology, the oxygen you're breathing this very second, the iron in your blood, the phosphorus in your DNA, the calcium in your bones, none of it existed at the beginning. The early universe was basically just hydrogen and helium. That's it.
So where did it all come from? Well, it had to be cooked, forged in the heart of giant nuclear furnaces we call stars. And it wasn't a quick process. It took at least 3 whole generations of stars living, dying, and exploding across the cosmos to slowly season the universe with enough heavy elements to build something like a rocky planet.
And how long did that cosmic recycling program take? About 9 billion years. 9 billion years just to get the raw materials together. Our Earth could only form at the very first moment that richness became available. Not a single second sooner.
Okay, so we've got the building blocks, but that's only part of the story. You also need an engine, a planetary power source, and that brings us to Earth's radioactive heartbeat.
Now this is amazing. It turns out that elements we usually think of as pretty dangerous, uranium and thorium, are actually the secret heroes of our planet. The slow, steady heat from their decay is what keeps Earth's core molten, and that internal heat engine does 2 absolutely crucial things. It drives plate tectonics, which shapes our continents, and it powers our magnetic shield, which protects us all from deadly radiation from space.
Let me be perfectly clear. Without those radioactive elements, our world would be a geological dud, a cold, dead rock like Mars. No volcanoes, no magnetic field, and almost certainly no life. And this is where the timing becomes just exquisite. See, these elements are made in violent star explosions, but they also decay over time. So there's this perfect Goldilocks moment in cosmic history when they're at their most abundant. That peak happened when the universe was about 9.2 billion years old, and guess when our solar system formed? You got it, right on the money.
So we've got the ingredients and we've got the engine, but there's another thing that required a ton of patience. The universe needed to chill out. It had to become a safe enough neighborhood for life to move in.
The early Milky Way was a cosmic war zone. Seriously, supernovae were going off constantly. There were deadly gamma-ray bursts that could sterilize an entire planet in a flash. Galaxies were smashing into each other all the time. It was just way too chaotic for complex life to have a prayer. So what was the solution to all that violence? The only thing that could work. Time. Billions of years had to pass for things to spread out, for the cosmic fireworks to die down, and for everything to just calm down. We had to wait until it was safe. All right, let's zoom in even further. We've gone from the universe to our galaxy, now let's land right here on Earth. Because even after our planet formed in that calmer, richer cosmos, it still wasn't ready. Not by a long shot. It needed its own 4.5 billion years of prep time. I mean, just look at this planetary to-do list. The sun had to settle down and find just the right brightness. The Earth's rotation had to slow from a crazy fast few hours to the stable 24-hour day we know. The atmosphere had to be completely remade, filled with oxygen by tiny little organisms. And the continents themselves had to be built up from the ocean floor. And here's the kicker. Every single one of those items on the checklist was an absolute necessity for us to be here. It wasn't just a series of happy accidents.
It was a required, step-by-step process of turning a hostile rock into a living world.
Okay, so we've covered what it took for us to simply exist. But there's one last piece of the puzzle, and to me, this is the most profound reason of all. The universe's age isn't just about allowing for our existence, it's about allowing for our understanding. We live in a uniquely privileged time to actually see it all.
Think about it. If we were around in the early days, the sky would have been a mess, a blindingly bright fog of galaxies all crammed together. But over billions of years, space expanded. The cosmic background cooled, the view cleared up. Our own sky went from hazy to transparent.
And the result of all that waiting? Right now, at this precise moment in cosmic history, we can look up and we can see almost the entire story. We can literally detect light that's been traveling toward us since near the beginning of time itself.
Let that sink in. No one who could have existed before us would have had this view. And here's the really wild part. Because the universe's expansion is accelerating, no one in the distant future will either. Eventually, all the other galaxies will be pulled beyond our sight. The story will be lost. We are living in the one perfect window for observation. So let's put it all together. This isn't just a random point on a timeline. We are here now, in a very specific and very special era. It's the age of existence, yes, but it's also the age of understanding. You could call it our cosmic moment. It seems to be that one fleeting window in all of history when the universe can not only create creatures complex enough to ask questions, but it can also reveal the answers to them. The universe is both habitable and intelligible, right now.
But this incredible realization that 13.7 billion years wasn't an excess, but a necessity, leaves us with one last and maybe even bigger question. If all this time, all this preparation, and all this fine-tuning was required, why, as far as we can tell, has it only happened once? Why just us? And that, well, that's a mystery for another day.